Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and more. As always, don't forget to like this video if you haven't liked it already. And if you're not subscribed, why not subscribe? This is going to be a quick recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills premiere and the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion part 1. And we're going to be celebrating 10,000 subscribers, a part of the YouTube channel. I love it when you guys are here way before, way before. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to the people that come every day. I appreciate you all being here. Shout out to Femtaro, who's also in the building. If you guys have not checked out Femtaro's YouTube channel, head on over. We did a collaboration on Ellen DeGeneres this week, and it was quite revealing about what's to come for this last season of Ellen DeGeneres. Also very revealing about her relationship with Portia de Rossi. Are they still together? Check that out and make sure you subscribe to her YouTube channel. She's definitely one of my peoples. She's one of our featured YouTube channels on the page as well. We have a weekly collaboration on her channel, and we've been doing some of your favorite housewives, and we will be doing we already did New Jersey, right, fam? We already did New Jersey. We will be doing some for the Beverly Hills ladies, and we will be doing some other things, but stay tuned for that. Before we get fully into it, is my lighting off? What happened? Hey, your lighting may be off. I don't know, y'all. Sometimes, look, it might be my lighting or it might be StreamYard. Just keep that in mind as well. Thank you to everyone saying congrats. I appreciate you all being here. Let me just open. Hold on, y'all. Let me just open this over here. Got multiple things going on behind the scenes. Oh, thank you. Sugar said, no, you're good. Look, lighting a black person here on any platform, on television, on video, it's very particular. Like even the colors that you wear is very particular. Lighting in general is, but specifically for a black person, it's even more. TikTok, head on over to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. That way I'll see your comments there. I just want to jump right on in. First of all, again, thank you to everyone that's been supporting our channel. Look, I love you guys. You guys are so amazing. Thank you. South Africa's in the building. I have to get to South Africa. There's so many places that need to open up because I'm ready to travel. I still have not booked my trip yet. And my people that know that know me know that, like, oh my God, you haven't booked the trip yet. Yes, I need to book my trip. It's just been a busy week. But let's talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Season 11 has started. And was it a good beginning? It was. It definitely was a good beginning to the show. I'm not sure what these ladies will bring. I've been very critical of Beverly Hills over the last couple of seasons, especially after last season and them ganging up on Denise Richards. But why were they mentioning Denise so much in this first episode? Are you guys trying to get some clout off of that Denise storyline? It just felt a little weird because normally production doesn't want you to talk about someone that's not really there. So it was interesting that kept on coming up. But in reality, that's what everything was happening before this last season ended. I think I would have liked to see Denise come back. She didn't add much before the drama and everything that was going on with her and Brandy, but I didn't mind her either. But before we get into the conversation with Garcelle and Lisa Rinna, because I can't, if you follow me on TikTok, you know I was watching this live and all I was saying was liar, liar. Everything coming out of your mouth, Lisa Rinna, is a lie. A lie. Yes, go Garcelle, go. Dorit's new face. I mean, if Dorit has gotten some surgery, it's good surgery. It's not too bad. Like, I like Dorit. Dorit has grown on me. So, you know what? Sometimes I have to keep these ladies in front of me because one of the good things, and I think it was St. J that said, the fact that they have more housewives on this particular show, it's nice because it seemed like they had a lot going on the show because they have so many housewives. So it did feel a little bit fuller in comparison to an Atlanta or New York, where they only had, what, I think it was 5 housewives. Even though these ladies aren't really giving us much. Lisa Rinna doesn't really have a storyline always. Kyle, what is Kyle's storyline this season? Dorit doesn't give us a storyline. And then we were introduced to Crystal Minkoff. I think that is how you pronounce her last name. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. I'm getting good vibes from Crystal. I think I'm getting good vibes from Crystal. And when I say good vibes, I mean that she's going to bring it and she's going to not hold her tongue. And that's why her and Sutton have this little back and forth. Look, I like the fact that she's already giving us some of her Asian Chinese culture. I like that. Because I wasn't sure, I saw some of your comments about her in the comments when I talked originally about her being on the show. People were like, "Oh, they're aiming for diversity, but is she going to add the diversity that we need?" So far, I'm loving it. And shout out to Femtaro, because Femtaro did my numerology number. It's 8, and when she talked about 8, Femtaro, like I feel like I'm talking to you. When she talked about the importance and the lucky number 8, I was like, look, I still have it written down here. The number 8. That's my number in numerology. Okay, sorry, y'all. It's like personal conversations. All right. Wait, I got a super chat and I don't want to miss it. Shout out to Diana, our moderator. Thank you for the super chat. Woo, woo, 10,000 subscribers. Look, I remember picturing that and saying, yes, this is a goal for this year. And the next goal, I know a lot of people saying 20,000, 40,000. No, my next focus is going to be 100,000. That's the next focus. That is the next focus. But back to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because I'm not going to make this video long. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear your thoughts on Beverly Hills. I want to hear your thoughts on the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion. I feel like I've been talking about this all day. I dropped by Up and Adam earlier today to talk about New York and to talk about the New Jersey reunion. We didn't talk about Beverly Hills. I can't wait to talk about Beverly Hills a little bit more. But this very first episode, this was my reaction to the very first episode. Okay. There was a lot going on, but I have to say this first episode of Beverly Hills annoyed me. And this is why it annoyed me. It's like they were purposely showing off Erika's lavish lifestyle. It was almost like, I know when you guys started filming this, that you were very much aware about everything that was going on with Erika. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it didn't fully come out at that point. But yeah, you kept it in, showing off her Chanel and then showing off the big, beautiful diamond necklace that she wore to Dorit's party. Was that Dorit's another new house, Dorit? Are you renting another new house? It's not uncommon for a housewife to rent a house for the show, because some of these housewives don't want production running through their house with lines, wires, lighting, cameras, and things like that. But Dorit, who is grown on me, she's still holding back in regards to her storyline, though. What is your storyline, Dorit? What is really going on with your life? I heard rumors, allegedly, that her and PK had broken up at one point. There was that rumor. Thank you, St. J. St. J, who is such an integral part to supporting this channel. I was about to say network, but one day it will be a network. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you guys. Okay, wait, let me just drop the link so you guys can call in and weigh in, because I can talk about Beverly Hills, I can talk about New York, and I can talk about Jersey for hours. But let me just drop the link so if you guys want to call in and share your thoughts. But back to Erika. Oh, that damn Erika. And I was getting annoyed watching it because the recent report that she does not want to give up any of the things, the gifts, the assets that she has to pay off Tom's debts for his alleged crimes. Oh, I can't wait to do a Femtaro reading on that couple. Oh, that's going to be good. Okay, sorry. I'm digressing. Someone commented in one of the videos that did, let's play a drinking game. How many times will the Kempire say, I digress? let's play. Because I probably will digress multiple times during this live. But them showing all of her things, and Mikey's still there. I don't know if Mikey's still in the situation, but her not willing to sell some of that. I'm not saying sell everything, but she could easily sell that diamond necklace alone. She could sell, and that would make a huge difference in the people that Tom allegedly defrauded. And now every time I see a picture of Tom, I just like that little grin. It's just a little disturbing. It's a little disturbing to me. I'm going to bring up St. J. What's going on?
Hi, Kempire. Congratulations on 10K.
Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm great. I think Garcelle really got to shine this whole episode, and I loved every bit of it.
Why do you say that she shined this entire episode?
So I think that a lot of the criticism Garcelle got is that she wasn't really involving in conflict. And then she'd also get she's not really around and in the mix. And
Yes.
she was in like almost every scene. She sat down with Lisa Rinna, episode 1, getting the ball rolling. Like, and I thought that's what they need. Like, that's what we want to see. Like, we want to see there's conflict. Let's get a resolution. Even though they didn't quite get a resolution.
No. I want to talk about that conversation, but before we do that, I just want to say thank you, Tara, for the super chat. Appreciate you. Congrats to you guys, because us progressing is you guys progressing with me. As I said before, you guys are the Kempire. Give Me Shelter. Thank you so much for the super chat. Give Me Shelter said, and Give Me Shelter's always here. Appreciate you. Bravo on making it to 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate the support of the channel. Sorry. Can we talk a little bit about Garcelle and Lisa Rinna sitting down for that conversation? Because as we know, Lisa Rinna last season threw her friend of almost 30 years under the bus, Denise Richards. And like all of us, Garcelle didn't think that was cool. And she feels like you could potentially do that to me. What were your thoughts on that?
I thought it was hilarious when Lisa tried to go, oh, no, actually, I've known you longer than I've known Denise Garcelle. I was like, yeah, okay, Rinna. Yeah, okay, girl. That makes it better.
I didn't get that, and I feel like she was lying.
She was complete. Like, oh, girl, when Garcelle got on the show, you barely seemed to like, it was like, oh, okay, Garcelle's here. Okay. I think that Rinna was lying. I think that she was trying to save face. Mm-hmm. And I think that had the ERIKA drama not unfolded and taken over, I'm sure it would have been a season of Rinna and Kyle coming for Garcelle.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hold on, I thought this was funny. Velda says, I'm surprised ERIKA let them see all the stuff the stolen money bought. Allegedly.
Well, you know, they started filming in October, if I'm not mistaken, and then the divorce stuff came out in November, and in December was the fraudulent activity stuff.
But the thing is,
had a buffer.
But the thing is, Bravo producers kept it in. They were fully aware when they were editing this that this was going. They could have edited it out.
Oh no, they know that's what we want to see. We want to see ERIKA. Like, yeah, they're completely feeding her to the road. Like, oh yeah, here's ERIKA. I'm surprised they didn't show price tags on that necklace. I'm actually shocked. I'm gonna bring it before.
Say it again.
They've done it before on things.
I just thought with this particular situation, not to protect ERIKA, but just the whole appearance, because there are victims, crash victims. There are people that are owed money. That's just my thought. I just want to thank you, Data. Shout out to Data. Data's been following and supporting me since my Kempire radio days. Data says $10 for 10K. You know what, Data? I know it's NZ dollars, but whatever. Maybe you can give it to Garcelle for more of those hideous haircuts. Data is so shady. I did not like Garcelle's, one of her confessional looks, the all black suit look. I didn't love that, but you know, high fashion. And the big clips. I'm gonna bring up Janice. Janice, what are your thoughts? How are you?
It's so good. First off, congratulations, 10K. I've been following you since 3K, so
yay!
old as some of the others around here. But Garcelle, I wanted to see more of that lunch between Garcelle and Rinna, because it was like they did like 30 seconds of it. I am sure there was much more in there that we could have gotten a chance to see, because Lisa Rinna was just like sitting back in her chair, her legs are crossed, and the whole, oh yeah, I apologize, I apologize, I apologize. We all know, we've seen that before from Rinna. It's fake. So I didn't believe it, and I'm glad that Garcelle right now isn't believing it. But then when Garcelle went to Sutton and kind of tried to re-verify that, I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Are you going to go through the whole group now and try and figure out if Rinna was lying to you while she was giving you the apology? And it's just like, I didn't understand that one, why she went to Sutton. So maybe someone else has got a little bit more insight on that.
Well, you know what?
Oh.
I think the part of that was, which they didn't show, was that Sutton had met up with Lisa Rinna to talk about it, and Lisa Rinna feels like they've made peace, they've moved on. And Garcelle, like myself, I'm like, no, we've had a conversation, but we haven't completely forgotten what you've done and moved on. It's not forgive and forget. What were you going to say, Saint?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so Sutton makes perfect sense. She's now, it seems like Garcelle's closest to her, but Sutton is also good friends with Lisa.
Yeah.
And then Sutton did say, like, me and Lisa, we were out together and we had X, Y, and Z conversation.
Yeah. Speaking of the conversation that Garcelle and Lisa had, what was your reaction at the end of it? Did you think they were in a better place?
No.
What about you, Sade?
That's shade, but no.
I mean, I don't think you can be in a better place that quickly, especially after such a big like you threw your friend of almost 30 years under the bus.
And that's the reason why I would have hoped that the editors would have brought more of that lunch along, or dinner, or wherever they were at, because it did seem like another 20-second, hey, we're just going to throw this in there for some sort of content for the two of them to interact.
Yeah.
Before they went to the party.
Yes.
So I felt it was like a filler, like they've done on some of the other franchises, and I really kind of don't like that. I'd rather see it play out a little bit more, so there feels like there's a true resolution.
Yes.
You're right. Dorit's in a new house, by the way. That is
right.
It is a new.
I was about to say, I was like, this does not look like the same, even though I have to say, what's his name? What's her son's name? Oh my God, Jagger. Oh my gosh, he is going to be a future star. He is adorable. I loved his little one-liners in this episode. That's her best asset.
So when Mikey was bringing out the jewels, I'm sitting there and I watched the replay again this morning, and I'm like trying to blow up my screen. Is the Jaguar ring on there? I'm looking for the Jaguar ring.
Oh. So, speaking of ERIKA Jayne and that whole situation, what did you think of them displaying all of the goods, all of the alleged stolen goods?
I'm thinking that Bravo is doing a little CYA right there. Oh. Let's show what we've got. Now, remember, when they walked into that mess, Mikey was very much, here's our 18 racks of clothes. Oh, this just came from this particular designer. Oh, you've gotten this, blah, 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 blah. Overflow closet that comes, and I'm sure that a lot of her stage wear is in there. When they got into her personal closet, you notice they kind of didn't show too much of what was going on in there.
See, this is why I love having these conversations, because you guys end up finding things that I didn't notice the first time around. This is why it's good to watch it again. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. What, Janice, what was another part of this first episode? First of all, did you enjoy the first episode?
I did enjoy it. I thought that I was going to enjoy Kathy Hilton a little bit more than what they actually showed. And at one point when she made a comment, does she wear hearing aids and she didn't wear them to a party? How would you not wear your hearing aids to a party? I don't get that.
or was it she didn't have her contacts in because she thought Garcelle was her sister Kyle?
I don't know. I couldn't follow that whole line of logic, and I'm thinking, oh please, we have another Kim Richards on the show. I can't handle that.
Saint, what was your reaction to Kathy Hilton's first? She made it to the first episode. Not a lot of Friend does make it to the first episode.
Okay, so my thought on Kathy was in two parts. My understanding was that Crystal was Kathy's friend, so I was confused on the introduction of Crystal that didn't come immediately with the introduction of Kathy to the series. And I was like, my kind of jaw dropped. I was like, now where do you see Kyle and Garcelle looking alike? Like, you've known Kyle all Kyle's life, and you thought she was like a black woman?
Maybe it was the black hair. Kyle got a new nose. Did you guys believe her little story that she had an accident?
No.
Wait, I'm gonna bring her. Okay, I'm gonna bring up Cassandra. Cassandra, what was your reaction to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills premiere episode?
Hi guys. Oh my
Hey.
God. I found it quite interesting. My favorite scene was Garcelle with Lisa Rinna. I was so glad that she kept her like in line. Lisa Rinna was squirming. Yeah. I don't know why, but yeah, I've seen it before. Her apologies are as fake as those lips. But moving on. So, and then also, is Kathy really friends with what's the new lady? The
Crystal.
new Asian Crystal. Are they really friends? Because that car conversation was as fake as I've ever seen anything.
I think they were casual friends. I don't think they were like buddy friends.
Okay, because that I was like, how do you not know your friend eats breakfast? Don't all humans eat breakfast though? So it was just very it was a filler. It was a scene filler. And then, so you know what? Beverly Hills has been a disappointment to me. Last season was horrid. I was actually quite disgusted by their behavior. So hopefully this season we will grow.
That's the hope. That's the hope. What do you think of Garcelle? Because, a lot of people are on the fence with Garcelle last season. She wasn't showing up to things. And this was her very first episode this new season. What do you think of her as an addition to Beverly Hills?
I actually appreciate Garcelle. I feel like Garcelle is grounded. There's a substance to her. She's not like with Dorit. I'm not even sure what's going on in Dorit's life. I don't even know if Dorit's got a life. At this point, I'm wondering, are the kids actors? Is the husband an actor?
No.
You're renting a house. You got a full cast, and then like there's so many fake storylines, and like not even they don't feel real. So why are we calling it Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when they,
I wonder why production continues with these fake storylines. I mean, I get it. They're also help creating these fake storylines, but I just wonder why they just don't invest in other people. Why is Dorit still on this show? Go ahead, Saint.
Andy said it best. He was like, in Beverly Hills, because they're all in the business, is how Andy summed it up. They have just such an awareness of the fact that there's cameras around. And like, essentially the way Andy said it was, we know this is what they do, but like, this is what they do. And if we get somebody else, they're going to do it too.
Then maybe we need to move to a new city.
Well, I guess the real question.
No, hold on. I'm sorry, not to cut you off.
If you're going
Beverly Hills.
Wait.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Saint. Finish it.
Beverly Hills has all of it's the eye porn you want. Like they have all of the richness. Like when you look and they zoom out to the houses and the shopping, it's what you want Housewives to give you.
Janice, what were your thoughts?
Well, I guess if you're having a high-end glamorous barbecue, why would you have your husband show up in a windbreaker?
Because that's PK.
And then he was going out with Mauricio, and Mauricio was dressed really nice, but PK's in a windbreaker. And I bet if they would have shot at his feet, he was probably like wearing some little deck shoes or tennis shoes.
Oh my goodness. We're gonna talk more about that little barbecue that they had, but I want to bring up a couple of other people that want to weigh in. Cocktails with Lovable Lisa. How are you?
Congratulations, sweetheart, on your 10 subscribers.
Thank you
You
so much.
definitely deserve it. Your show is worth it.
Oh, thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
What are your thoughts on this?
That happened to
On this,
me.
say it again.
Manifested that happened to me.
It's gonna happen to you.
Yes. Yes, I am what's her name is? The black girl.
Garcelle.
Doctor.
Said
I
the
forgot
black.
her name. I was there for it last night, but I want her to really. She went light on Lisa Rinna to me. If
Yes.
somebody really needs to get it, and I want somebody. I want them to bring somebody on that show that will get into her and Cal ass. I mean,
Mm.
I'm tired of this. Especially after I heard what they did with the restaurant deal. They still can't play Mean Girls. Okay, I'm tell y'all something. Lisa Vanderpump moved on, okay? She got a show on Bravo. She got a show on E, okay? She'll move past y'all. She looking past y'all, okay? She said, I ain't worrying about y'all. And that's why y'all probably mad at her because she moved on. She ain't worrying about y'all no more. She moved on. Her geese, or her many horses, her dog, and Keith.
Do you miss Lisa Vanderpump on
Yes,
Beverly
I
Hills?
do. I do. I loved her. And I don't know what's going on with my girl, because Erica's my girl. Even though that, like you said, when she first came on, I thought she was right icy cold, but I have warmed up to her. I love her. Now, about her situation. No, baby, you should never did that. But I listened to Andy last night on what happened live. They says it, and all the girls on it, they said she was open when as soon as they started the filming that season,
Mhm.
everything broke apart. Everything, the marriage and all this stuff came
Because
along.
in this very first episode, we don't get a hint that the marriage is in any
Yeah,
shambles.
yeah.
We just in her closet.
Yeah, because she says herself, she said they had to put on antidepressants. But I don't believe it's because of what they say, the pandemic going on. I believe it was going on in her marriage.
Oh,
I
well,
believe, I believe, I believe that's why she went go see a therapist. I believe what's going on. She didn't know exactly what's going on. She knew something was going on. And
that's an interesting.
Tom wasn't talking to her.
That's an interesting point that you bring up because ERIKA Jayne does reveal that she went to a psychiatrist because she did get depressed during the pandemic. A lot of people got depressed during the pandemic, and it is May, Mental Health Awareness Month. So I thought that was a good conversation to have. I'm going to start at the top. Wait, Mr. Ocasio, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What are your thoughts on this latest episode of the Beverly Hills?
Okay. I thought it was a great episode. I'm not a huge fan of Crystal.
Already?
I am not a fan of her already. I am not. She already came off like a little snob. There was a comment, which somebody help me with this. I'm sure some of the viewers might remember what she said, but it was something about Dorit. Or they had asked something, and then they asked her about Dorit, and she's like, no. Does anybody remember that?
Yes. Yes.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Please, somebody tell me.
CJ, go ahead.
So essentially, Crystal was like, oh, of course I know Garcelle. In Beverly Hills, we all know each other. And then the producer who does Crystal Confession with her was like, okay, do you know Dorit? She was like, no.
She just said it in such a way that I'm like, oh, I do not like her. And I can tell in the season she's not going to like Dorit too much. But I don't know. And also about Kathy, I think it was nice for her to appear on the show, but I don't know if she's going to bring anything to it.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I mean, it was the very first episode, so I'm gonna try and give Kathy some leeway. I don't know about Crystal. I think you should keep an open mind with Crystal. I see a little sass, which I kind of like in a housewife. Is she maybe a little elitist? Maybe. Does she have a right to be? Maybe. It is Dorit. I don't think I would know Dorit either if I was in Hollywood. What has Dorit brought to the table? Fake phony money. She's renting a home every other season. Every season so far. No shade. I like Dorit, but I need a real storyline though, Dorit. I I just want to wrap up this conversation on Beverly Hills. So I'm going to quickly start with St. J, and then I'll work my way down. And I want to hear a quick overall. Are you looking forward to the next episode of Beverly Hills? St. J.
Okay, I think that we saw Garcelle really take the driver's seat, and I want her to continue to be able to bring something to the group. I also wanted to see more of her with Nicole and more with her with Sheree, who both appeared in some way in her scenes.
Yeah.
And I think that the only problem I ever have with Garcelle is she's very conscious in this group of mostly white women to not seem angry with them. And when she sat down with Rinna, the way Rinna immediately tried to make herself seem meek made it so anything Garcelle would have had in response would have seemed completely disproportionate.
Okay. All right. Stay on the line, St. J. I'm gonna bring everyone back up as we start talking about New Jersey. Janice, what is your overall thoughts on this very first episode of Beverly Hills, and are you looking forward to more?
I am looking forward to. This is probably going to sound super shady, which I hope it's okay.
I love it.
So we're seeing the beginning where ERIKA still has her glam squad. And we all know that we've been following all of our, channels and stuff like that, that towards the end, she doesn't have a glam squad because we've seen some of those pictures. So to see the slow kind of change that her fashion and her makeup are going to go through might be something interesting to watch.
Now that you pointed out, I'm going to watch that closely.
I'm not normally this shady, but when it comes to these girls, I am. I like the fact that Garcelle is kind of taking a more of a forward step, because last year she was involved with a movie and promotion and stuff last year. So she didn't really get a chance to kind of show what she's got. So that's interesting to see. I'm looking to see how Crystal kind of fits in with these ladies. During last night's episode, which she was pointing to all the characters of the Lion King, and big deal about my husband was the director. And I'm thinking to myself, it's for all intents and purposes, yes, a movie, but really it's a cartoon. And it's
a legendary cartoon.
Right. I understand. I'm probably one of the few people in America that has never seen it. Okay. So I'll just kind of.
Oh, Janice.
I know, but I wasn't in that age group when it came out. So, it's what can I do? So I'm looking to get to know a little bit more about Crystal. The Kathy and Kyle dynamic is going to be whatever it's going to be, whatever they show us. Let's put it that way. Because, they're not going to, right?
Yes. Good point.
And Sutton, everyone is so comfortable talking with her. Could she be the next bone collector of the Real Housewives franchise?
I would love that.
I think she might be.
Janice, stay on the line because we're going to jump in and talk about Jersey in a second. Last minute thoughts, Cassandra, on Beverly Hills' first episode, and if you're looking forward to the next episode.
I am looking forward to the next episode, especially the lunch Garcelle's going to have with Kyle. Kyle's neck twist was quite interesting. Like, what? Racist? So I'm looking forward to that. And then today, the episode that aired last night in your time, this morning on my time, it was a cute start. I hope there's a bit more fire. I hope there's a bit more. I'm vegan. I hope there's a bit more meat on this bone.
Cassandra, where are you calling from?
South Africa. I'm in Johannesburg at the moment.
Oh, yes. Hello, South Africa. Cassandra, if you can, stay on the line because we're going to talk about Jersey next.
Will do.
Last minute thoughts on the premiere episode, Lisa. Oh, you're muted. Hold on. There you go.
I loved it. I cannot wait for the whole season to start. Garcelle, love it. And you know what? And I agree with Janet. I believe Stunning is gonna be the Bone Collector this season. I would do. I would do. I would before Elka handle her ass to her. Yeah, you know. And then you see that trouble. He said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
what you gonna do?"
I don't like that scene, but maybe it's warranted. We're
Yeah,
gonna
he said,
watch.
"What
We're
you
gonna
gonna do?
watch.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?" Yeah, you know you're messing up Elka Jane, baby.
Stay on the line, Lisa. Gennaro, what are your last minute thoughts on Beverly Hills before we move on?
All right, my last thoughts. I'm extremely excited for the season. I think it's going to be really good. I think it started off really nice as well. I'm excited for the next episode. I do want to see also Garcelle and Kim's talk, or excuse me, Kyle's talk. I'm excited to see that. And yeah, I'm just waiting to see how everything unfolds. You know, with the whole ERIKA thing, and also I do want to see how Cynthia sort of blends in with the group. I mean, she did come off kind of already standoffish. She just came off a little
Are you
different in
being
a way.
shady by calling her Cynthia? Her name is Crystal.
Oh gosh. You see, I can't even remember her name. I don't know. Maybe it's because Cynthia Bailey. I was watching something else about her. Your other little video earlier today. But anyhow, yeah. So I'm really excited for it. I want to see how Sutton and Crystal, how they also play out. It looks like they are going to have a little bit of beef.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited for that. Yeah. So I'm just excited for it all, and I can't wait now to start talking about the New Jersey Housewives.
Oh, yeah. Stay on the line. So we're going to jump into New Jersey. First of all, before we do that, we are celebrating over 10,000 subscribers here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. You are officially, if you're watching this, a part of the Kempire. If you're not subscribed, hello, subscribe. And if you haven't liked this video, we have almost 150 people in the room. Be sure to like this video if you haven't already. And subscribing, we're going to be working on some really cool things now that we've reached 10,000K. We'll be working on that, busy handling everything else behind the scenes. And we also posted a new story today. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to check it out here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel. You get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and more. As you can see, we do reality TV recaps as well. Decided to do a mashup of Jersey and Beverly Hills just because Jersey's on its way out. They had their reunion last night, and it was a doozy. A lot of people were speculating, why was this season so short? I just don't think they had enough. I don't think they had enough with Melissa and Joe. I don't think they had enough with Teresa. I don't think they had enough with Margaret. I think they probably could have had something more with Jennifer. If you didn't see my video yesterday, Jennifer and Melissa were going at it on social media. To me, it was interesting timing because we didn't even know that they had beef. But we saw the beef play out on the reunion last night, and I guess they decided, let's promote the reunion by having beef on social media. So the ladies were going back and forth. If you haven't seen that video, I'll post the link in the description of this video, or you can just check out yesterday's videos on the channel. So Melissa and Jennifer during the season, they really weren't beefing. They sort of had settled everything. And now the beef has been reignited. We see that happen all the time with these housewives, largely because they don't like what people are saying in confessionals. They don't like how they see things playing out. Even the beef between Jackie and Teresa seems reignited. Doesn't seem like they're in a better place like they were during the season. It is what it is. But this part one reunion, there will only be 2 parts to the Jersey reunion, thankfully, because he didn't have a big season. I thought it was a decent season. And I think this part 1 was decent. And why is Joe Gorga already out in part 1? Joe Gorga is a housewife of New Jersey. And I like how he slipped in there, the Real House Husbands of New Jersey. It's one of the rare cities that has husbands that we enjoy seeing. I don't think there's any, besides the old days of Atlanta, did we meet house husbands that we really enjoy together. And they seem like they have an authentic friendship. But they cover a lot of topics in part 1. And I want to talk about that. But before we get into those topics, thank you, Allison, for the super chat. Congratulations on 10K. When I say congratulations, I'm saying congratulations back to you guys, because look, I'll be talking to no one if you weren't here watching and supporting and commenting and all of that. So thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that is called in, that's in the backstage. I'm going to bring you up in a second. Just want to set up the scenario. So last night, as I said before, we had the Real Housewives of New Jersey Part 1 reunion of their season 11. As you've heard, that they were considering making some changes over at Jersey. There was a casting call a couple of months ago for New Jersey. What we're hearing is that all of the housewives will be back with the addition of maybe 1 or 2 new housewives. I think that's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. I would love it if they were friends with someone on the cast. Would I love it to be a little bit more diverse? Yeah, because Jersey's very diverse. But they have in the past tried to make Jersey diverse. I know that DJ Envy's wife was being considered to be on the show, but it just worked out that DJ Envy and his wife decided not to be on the show. That would have been kind of nice because there are authentic friendships there amongst the ladies. It needs to be authentic. I know certain things in reality TV have to be pre-produced, but it needs to be authentic. Wait, I'm just reminded. We didn't talk about the confessional looks from Beverly Hills. I talked a little bit about Garcelle's. What in the hell was going on with Lisa Rinna? Lisa Rinna had this, it actually in a photo, because I have the photo. I need to actually upload that photo so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, let me see if I can do that really quickly so that you can see what I'm talking about. Because Lisa Rinna, oh, actually I can. Hold on, y'all. You have to see this photo of Lisa Rinna. Hold on. Let me do this. Because look, when you're producing everything behind the scenes yourself, I was like, what is happening with Lisa Rinna's look? It didn't translate well on TV, but in a photo, this looks good. In a photo, this looks good. She looks like a superhero. But on the show in movement, it did not look good. I know we're talking about Jersey, but I had to mention this. But anyways, I digress. We're going to go back to Jersey. I just thought, I was like, oh, in the photo, she looks really beautiful. But on screen with the lighting and the movement, it was like, oh, you're sinister. But she's living up to being the villain. Lisa Rinna is the villain, but I've digressed. But speaking of villains, is Margaret Joseph a villain? At the end of part 1, Jennifer pretty much throws her under the bus and says that she's the one who came up with the rumor about Jackie's husband cheating on Jackie with someone from the gym. First of all, Jackie and Teresa are sitting right next to Andy. That's usually the person who had the biggest part of the season. If they had the biggest part of the season, that happened at the top of the season. Damn, I guess Jersey didn't really have the greatest season, but it was a pandemic, and I thought it was a solid season. I enjoyed it, but I'm going to hear what you guys think. I'm going to bring up Janice. Janice, what were your thoughts on New Jersey, the part 1 reunion?
So who didn't see that cliffhanger coming, that's where they were going to end that first part? I watched that and I'm like, come on, Bravo. You could have came up with a better cliffhanger than that one, right?
They could have, but they want to keep us watching. There wasn't much else.
I understand that. I am really hoping that Michelle is not one of the friends that they bring back. Oh my God, she was bad. I couldn't see
Michelle the realtor for people that aren't familiar. Yes. Ugh.
I don't want to see her ever again. Ever. Because she was that bad. I mean, it was just like, so the whole rumor about Jackie and her husband, really, did they have to drag that out like 3 episodes? I was just like, and then all of a sudden it just dried up and went away. There was no resolution. There was no resolution with that whole friend group when that all happened. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like that. And I'm watching you for content to say, hey, we found out that it's a fake, or hey, we found out it was a rumor, or hey, it was really true and they don't want to address it. It's like hanging out there in limbo. Did it happen? Didn't it happen? We don't know.
I mean, I've heard rumors that it may have been true. Look, I mean, where there's smoke, there might be some fire.
Yeah. And then, I did see one story come out that the person that he allegedly, we'll use alleged because we
yes.
Good. He allegedly cheated with this trainer that was allegedly married and yada, yada. And I'm like, this just sounds like so much of a made up storyline. I didn't want to, you have comments, right? I just, I kind of lost interest in it.
Oh,
to be honest.
I mean, I did too. And again, it goes back to the whole idea of why did they cut the season short? I just don't think they had enough content. I'm going to bring up St. J. St. J, what were your thoughts on the New Jersey reunion?
Okay, my thoughts on the reunion was Jennifer really was able to wiggle her way into being the star. And I love that for her. Like, because wow, who would have thought? I think that Jersey as a whole suffers. Where they suffer is also where they make out a lot better than the other housewives groups. They are a lot, you know, Melissa is Teresa's sister-in-law, Joe is Teresa's brother, and Dolores is their childhood friend.
Yeah.
Like, so the group actually makes sense, but when the majority of the group all has some form of allegiance to one person, it makes it hard for everyone else to carry the season. Like,
No.
because Teresa can go, oh, I don't want to show this, and then they're just all gonna let her slide. So I think that what they need for next season is to bring someone on that production is going to push to really center conflict with Teresa.
Well, I think that it's actually not a good idea. I think whoever they bring on next season should have their own sort of friend group, their own sort of issues, and authentically do that. I don't want another storyline surrounded around Teresa because God forbid Teresa's no longer on the show. The show is over.
I mean, yeah. I mean, isn't that
He's like,
isn't
yeah.
that the thing? I mean, yeah. Is that not the thing? But
that's bad.
To your point about the reunion, I think that I'm interested in seeing more when Jackie finally goes head to head with Teresa in the reunion. I think that Jackie's a smart girl, you know, she's a lawyer. And so I'm interested in seeing that. I think that I didn't like bringing up the kids, but to Jackie made this point, and I will stand by her point. Teresa has nobody else in her family that she cares about. So if Jackie would have used an analogy about Joe, her brother, she would have been fighting with Melissa too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, that's a tough situation, and we can have a long. I think we can examine that conversation a little bit more next week when part 2 airs, because you know they're going to flesh that out more.
Horse. Oh yes.
But can we talk a little bit about the beef between Melissa and Jennifer and Margaret?
No, Kempire. Let me say, Jennifer and Melissa have been going at each other every time they've been out on their press tours.
Oh.
Yeah, when they were both on, I think it's Housewives Nightcap or whatever the show is.
Yes.
They both were sending, disses back and forth to each other. So I think that it just culminated when they finally made it to reunion.
So it was things that we didn't capture on the show.
Yeah, but it was going on outside as soon as filming concluded. Margaret and Jennifer, I just don't think that they're going to be able to come to a equal ground. I think that Margaret looks down on Jennifer. And even when Margaret tried to say, well, I was a stay-at-home mom once, but you belittle Jennifer for that very reason.
Did you believe her excuse, Janice, that she wasn't coming down on stay-at-home moms?
So I like Margaret, and probably people in the chat are going to disagree with me on that. I think in Margaret's own way, she might have been trying to shepherd Jennifer like, hey, something may happen in this relationship. You're not set up for something once that breaks. I can shepherd you. I want to try and be a mentor to you, but I don't think Margaret has the right words to say that. So she just spits it out in her Jersey style, and then Jennifer is going to spit it back in at her with her Persian style. I think they're talking about the same things, but I think it's like, in a relationship, right? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
So which planet is Mars from, and which planet is Jennifer from? Which side are you on? Because I'm like you. I like Marge too, but I have to say her storyline was weak this season.
It was weak. I get it that they all feel that Jennifer brought her parents on the show to kind of, you know, highlight what's going on in her personal life.
Mm-hmm.
But Jennifer had a point. She's at least showing her personal life.
Ooh.
Point.
Mm.
You know, this whole we won't get on the Joe and Melissa because I'm sure you're going to talk about that in a few minutes, so we won't jump the gun for you. But she has a point. Jennifer has a point. Not everyone on that show shows their home life. Think of Jackie. Really, the only time we saw Jackie's home life in the 2 seasons she's been on is when she didn't go on the trip.
No.
So they had to show something. So
and that was boring at best.
Right. I mean, and that's the first time that we've really kind of seen all 4 of her kids. So
Yeah.
I kind of side with Jennifer on that. She is showing her life.
I agree. You know, I do want to talk a little bit about the situation with Melissa and Joe. I've said multiple times, I feel like that is a fake forced storyline. What were your thoughts on how they addressed it in part 1?
Didn't like it.
Why is that?
Because I don't think Andy asked them the hard questions. I think he really soft pedaled it because Joe is Teresa's brother. Really,
so Andy has favorites.
And he has favorites. So I did like, though, how Andy being shady Andy, right, towards the end of that episode, where he brought up the story about Joe Giudice, bringing up that article that he had talked about. And I know that you've brought that article up before, too, so that wasn't like a big surprise to me.
Mm-hmm.
But how upset Joe got about that. And he was right for calling out his sister. Teresa should stand up for her brother when her ex-husband is saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
And be able to tell him that, hey, that's my family you're talking about. She should be able to say that to her ex. Now, I have an ex. Can I say that kind of stuff to my ex? No.
Did you see what Gia said on Watch What Happens Live in regards to Melissa and Joe, publicly addressing her father? Did you agree with what Gia said?
I hate to say it, out of all the ladies on that show, Gia is the most adult.
She really is.
She makes the most sense. I feel so bad for her. Her being the eldest of 4, I'm the eldest of 4. I used to have to do a lot of refereeing with my younger siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Probably had to do the same thing. A lot of explaining on where they're at. Why aren't they home? She got thrown into an adult role at a really early age.
Yeah.
And her song from the birthday party is trending when Will Smith is talking about this kind of stuff and Snoop Dogg's making a remake of it. You know you're something, right?
And she's not getting a red cent from it. Lord have mercy. That's a mess. I want to bring up some callers. Denise, yes. I'm going to bring you up if you're ready. Denise, what was your thought? Hey, how are you?
Hi.
What were your thoughts on this? First of all, do you believe the Joe Gorga and Melissa beef that they're having in their marriage?
I don't believe it, but they have it on because it's believable.
Oh.
In my mind, I think because it's actually something I think that a lot of couples who have been married for so long, and especially the dynamic that they had in the beginning of their marriage, it is something that it is understandable that people at this age of their marriage that they would go through. So yeah. I don't believe they're really going through that. Yes, I think she wants her independence, but I think Joe, he knows it's about money, and I don't think Joe is stupid about money at all.
Really?
Right. They have always had money. They like to spend. They like to travel. And if Melissa can go out, work a few days out of the week, bring more money into the family, his business, there's a million times.
In quotes.
if it's gonna give them something more legit to fall back on whenever all his business gets out there, why not? I don't think he's stupid about it. Also, about March.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Oh.
The whole night she looked at Jen as if she just wanted to go over there and
Hmm.
like this. She was chomping at the bit for Jen all night. I'm sitting here and I'm watching and I'm like, are you serious, Marge? Fix your face. The whole world is watching this. Please stop. Please stop. And I think she really was picking on Jen for the whole season. It was uncalled for. And she literally pushed Jen, in my opinion, to bring up that whole situation about her sleeping with her boss.
Ooh.
And I think she did use that Me Too movement to justify her actions. Believe it or not, whether or not it was a man in power, if he didn't solicit you, in my opinion, about Marge, she probably would have solicited him, because I think Marge is a woman about her coin and about advancement. And if she has to trample on somebody, this is the feeling I get. She's trampling on Jen right now because she wants a higher standing among the housewives. I find.
See, this is why I love when you guys call in and share your thoughts, because you give me thoughts that I never thought about before. But in all fairness, we have not read the full chapter on how that all played out in Marge's life. If she wants to say it was a man in power and that's how she felt at the time, that's the way that she felt. I wasn't there. You weren't there. Look, it is what it is. Was there another moment from this reunion, part one, that stood out to you?
The way when the way Melissa let it slide, Melissa and Joe let it slide when Jen let them know that it was Marge was the one that spoke about Joe Garga and his bad business dealings. They just looked at her like, I can't believe you said it. But they didn't say anything to Marge.
Yeah.
And she didn't really have a defense, especially when Teresa came back and said, yes, you said it that night. She didn't really have a defense, and they didn't go in on her about it. But
you know what it is, and I had to rewind that part. What Teresa was confirming was that Jen had said it to her, not that Margaret had said it to her.
Right, the same night. But I don't think, if it was the same night it was said, I don't think Jen would have come over. If it wasn't said that night, I don't think Jen, out of maliciousness, would have just brought that to Teresa that night. I don't think so, because in the way how the world works, I don't think anybody just get up one day and decide, I'm gonna tell this lie about this person to make them look bad.
Have you watched Housewives?
Especially if it's off camera too.
Oh, well, that part. Gennaro, what were your thoughts on the fight that they had between Marge and Jen in regards to the lifestyle that Jennifer is living? And it seems as if Margaret might have a problem with the stay-at-home moms, despite what she's saying.
Okay, I'm so glad you asked me that question. To me, that was the best part. Jennifer is my new favorite housewife, I believe. Oh. And it was because of that reunion, and I'm going to explain to you why. So getting to answer your question there, I think Marge, I love her too. I really do. But I don't understand why she was sort of coming at Jennifer. I mean, it just seems like she does not see Jennifer as an equal. I definitely got that. And especially when she threw in there, and then I loved how this all played out when she mentioned to her, just talking about her being in love with all these materialistic things and whatever else, and how different that they are as far as that. And then on her Instagram, she mentioned how she put wife of a plastic surgeon. And then Jen was like, facts, is that not facts? Which I agree with her. That is facts. Her whole story on how when he was in residency, she had to raise the children. She didn't get her first nanny until after 4 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, she does deserve the luxuries of life at this point. I truly agree with her. And so I'm on her side there. And I loved how Teresa jumped in.
I didn't love that part. I have to say,
love that part.
Teresa jumping in that particular instance because she's friends both with Jennifer and Margaret, and she already did Margaret dirty last season by encouraging Danielle to pull her hair. If it was me, if I was Margaret, I would have been coming for Teresa this entire season.
Yes, and I feel like she may, because she got really upset when Teresa did that. But I feel like Teresa and now Jen has a bit of a relationship, because that whole thing about Melissa and everybody saying on how, oh, you've been trying to get on the show forever and you're there kissing Teresa's butt and whatever else. I think there's a true, genuine friendship between Teresa and Jen. I think they both have that sassy kind of attitude. But I loved how she stuck up for her. I loved how she said, well, I mean, it's true. I mean, you wouldn't put you're a wife of a plumber. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Plumbers
that
make more than some of these people out here you think that are making money. I'm just saying.
No, and there is nothing at all wrong. And I don't think that she meant anything wrong with that. I think that she was just telling Marge. It was totally at Marge for coming at Jen. And honestly, no offense to any plumbers or anything. Everybody is great, every contractor. And I don't think that Teresa meant it as an insult to anybody. I think it was just strictly to Marge, just trying to get back at her for what she was saying to Jen. And I just thought it came out. I think she slipped. I don't think she really meant to say it like that. Because
every time people remind me that Teresa is a Taurus like myself, and I'm like, Teresa's loyal to no one. So I don't know how she's a Taurus. But anyways, I want to bring up some other callers, and we're gonna round this out just a little bit. Cassandra, what were your thoughts on the Real Housewives of New Jersey reunion part 1?
I found, like I agree with everyone else. The season was quite short. So the reunion for me was it was lackluster.
Oh.
Yeah. So with the whole like Margaret and Jennifer situation, Margaret has been condescending and demeaning towards Jennifer, in my opinion. I'm a new mom. I don't think any stay-at-home mom. I'm on maternity leave at the moment. I'm more tired now than I've been when I work a 6-hour day. So anyone who's a stay-at-home mom, she might as well earn her husband's salary because that's how much work she puts in with her kids. Highly inappropriate. I found it highly inappropriate that she thought it was okay to demean someone who's a stay-at-home mom. I might be putting in money into my family by putting in my hard work, my hands, my time. So I have no love lost for Margaret, unfortunately.
I don't blame you. I honestly do believe that Margaret, even though she wanted to sort of save face and say that she wasn't attacking stay-at-home moms, but you are attacking a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, that's true. And then also I found that Margaret used Jennifer as her storyline for the season. Like no one actually had a storyline but Jennifer. So it was just like, what's your point again? Like the whole time, every time she argued with Jennifer, I was like, what's your point again? Like, yeah, please repeat yourself. Like it was like that. So I was like, what? Yeah, so I found the whole season, lackluster. So just watching the reunion this morning, I was just like, okay. And then I kind of, you get on your phone, you kind of text someone and you're like, oh, yeah, it's still playing. Okay, yeah, I'm still looking. That's how it was. And I can't wait. I can't wait for the next, I can't wait for part 2 because I want to see actually, like, what is the whole point of us having, what's this lady? The one who's, I'm smart, I'm a lawyer. What's her name?
Jackie?
Yeah, I like, she needs to explain, like at work I always ask people, you need to write an essay and tell me why you deserve your salary. She needs to write an essay and tell us why she deserves to be a housewife, because I know nothing about her except that her parents went to prison and Teresa prison, Teresa prison. Why are you here?
Oh damn. As always, Cassandra, thank you so much for calling and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
Lisa, what are your final thoughts on the New Jersey reunion part 1?
Baby, Jennifer handled their asses last night. I loved it. Baby, I loved it, baby. She came for Margaret, baby. She said before they even got started, she said, I'm coming for Margaret. And baby, you come on in there too, Melissa, you gonna get it too. Okay, y'all gonna cut this mess out. Baby, I'm on Team Jennifer all the way, honey. And I'm gonna tell you like that, girl, they need to I think they need to move Dolores. I was on the the Lord looks so dark. She looked my skin color last night.
That's why we call her Black Dolores. But oh my goodness, I can't believe we went through this entire review and we didn't mention Dolores. Dolores, that's not good. Go ahead.
What's her name? Melissa. I used to love Melissa, and I still got a little bit of love for her because of Joe. Because Joe, man, they need to give Melissa. They need to give Joe whatever they give them over there. I mean, because he is a housewife, honey. He is the housewife, honey. He keeps it going, and he keep it going. I love me as a couple. I really do, and I'm praying that they work everything out. Because I think what he going through is like what most men go through is now. Where the kids are going older. She got her thing on the side, and her thing on the side is getting her out more. She's not at home more being with him. And I fully understand that. So I'm hoping and I'm praying they stay together. But baby, I tell you one thing, they need to get rid of Jackie. I don't see what Jackie's talking about. Bye bye Jackie. Bye bye
Oh,
Jackie. Bye bye Jackie. Because the Lord got Frankie. And Frankie is
this is true.
stays just like Joe Good is. Because I ain't never seen another man kiss another man's ass on live camera.
Right? We've never seen that happen before, but I enjoyed every second.
That's what I'm saying. It's so comical. And I love my girl Teresa. You prostitution whore. I love my girl Teresa. I love I'll be, it's sad because I promise you this season, when she first got started, they was talking about their dad had died and stuff. And I know my mom had passed away because right before that, my mom had just had passed away, and I was crying when she was telling that story. So I understand she's talking about her parents had passed away, her dad had passed away, and my eye was just bawling this season with that. But I can surely understand. But Teresa is my girl. She went to prison, came back, she was popping to the movie. And that's what I'm talking about, baby. She got rid of Joe. That's okay. She got a new man. I don't want to see the new man come in. Where he gonna bring to the table?
I don't think he makes an appearance on the reunion, but he was definitely there.
Yeah, but I want to see him more in the new season coming up. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I ain't here for it, but I am glad. But but I've been telling everybody, because Teresa had put on when the first episode came out, Teresa had said on What Happened Live, he said, y'all gonna find out who the one who really started doing when the woman came out. And Joe, Margaret's husband, said with me, he said, yeah, I heard that woman too. How he heard that woman? He ain't hear from nobody of Margaret. Margaret started that woman. She told Teresa, and Teresa said, oh, good, did you hear about that? Jennifer said, you ain't finna get away with this one. Jennifer said, you ain't finna walk away for nothing. I'm gonna tell you, this what really got me looking at Jennifer. Jennifer said, yeah, your friend over there, your best friend over there, yeah, she the one, she let it be known. Yeah, Margaret told me that your husband really wasn't paying no bills. And paying on that. I said, get it in, Jennifer.
Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling in and sharing your thoughts.
I love you. Congratulations, y'all, and everything else.
Thank you. I'm glad Lisa brought up the whole the conversation about Nono. Them re-showing that, I shed a tear watching that. I thought that was such an important part of the season as well, a beautiful part of the season. But also it reminds us of the challenges that the Gorgas and the Giudices have had over the years and are still having. Janara, what are your thoughts, or your final thoughts on this entire situation and the whole celebration of Nono in this episode? And also part of what Joe is saying, why he is so frustrated with Joe Giudice and in Teresa, and how that's affected his family.
All right. Well, I think that the reunion was a great recap. I mean, I think that they touched on a lot of things, and I mean, I just thought it was a really, really, really good first reunion. As far as Nono, I mean, I also shed a tear there too as well. It was very emotional. It was just 1 year ago that happened, and obviously they're a very tight-knit family. So for sure that, and then just hearing what Teresa went through, which was true. She just went through prison, and then Joe, and then he went to prison, and the mom died, and then the dad died, and it's just like one thing after another for that family. So I definitely do feel for them. And as far as that letter and everything else, or the comments that he had made, I mean, I was never a fan of Joe Giudice at all. I mean, he was very nasty to Teresa, all those comments and everything else. So I didn't like him from the beginning. So I was always on Joe Gorga's side. Always from the beginning, I was always there.
Does Joe Giudice have fans?
I doubt it. Maybe in Italy, I don't know. but not here. But anyhow, so definitely everything that he was saying, you know, I mean, I don't believe it all wholeheartedly, although Teresa did sort of mention that some of it may have been true. What of it was true, we don't know. But then again, you know what? That's part of the family business and whatever else. So I didn't really get too much into that. My whole thing, again, as I mentioned before, was the whole Jennifer thing. I just loved how she is really quick. She's witty. She fires back. She does not put up with anything. She has a mouth and knows how to use it. And I love her for that. I absolutely love her for that. So for me, I love it all. I'm excited to see about Teresa and her new man. And Dolores, let's go ahead and talk about her. She is adorable. I love her. She's like that neutral person there in the group that, I don't know. To me, I love her. I respect her. I love Frank. I don't like David too much. I'm not sure how they are. I wish her and Frank could get back together, but I know that they had their own problems and that's why they broke up.
Yes.
You know what? And I know that you mentioned a comment. You made a comment before on some other videos that you love their dynamic as where they are now, and I do have to agree with you. I do love it as well. I think there's a lot of love, respect there. They do look out for each other, and I think that that's nice to see after a divorce. They do have a child, you know, Frankie. And whatever else. So, I mean, I think this is all great. I'm excited to see the next reunion and definitely the next season.
And thank you so much for calling in and sharing your thoughts.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and congrats on 10K.
Thank you. Thank you. And finally, your last minute thoughts, Denise, right? Make sure I got everyone's name right. Oh, wait. Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah, I got it. About the whole situation between Joe Judice and Joe Gorga and Teresa, I think Joe Gorga is putting Teresa in a very horrible spot, especially in the public, because she can't really speak bad in public about her children's father. And Joe and Melissa keeps bringing it up in public on the show for her to put him down, and she can't really do that. So she's in a difficult spot. She can't go against her brother when it comes to her ex-husband in public, while she can't do the same. So she's in a tough spot. Also, I am looking forward to next week because I really want to know if it was really Marge, who is the hugest villain in my mind on the show. Last year she got her pigtails pulled. See, she came with a different hairstyle. She don't want her pigtails to be pulled again. So let's see what happens next week. I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too. And thank you so much for calling in.
All right. Congratulations again.
Thank you. St. J, final thoughts on the Real Housewives of New Jersey's Part 1 reunion.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Final thoughts. I feel like I want to know if Margaret really said it. I think that that's important. But I think that as far as Joe and Melissa's thing, it confuses me because I really feel, and Andy said it best on Watch What Happens Live once, it seems like his issue is Melissa on the show. But Joe is just...
Wait, let me bring up a question to you. And I'll bring this question up to both you and Janice just as final thoughts. During the reunion, they said Joe alluded in an interview that the fame has gone to her head, and pretty much Teresa confirmed that with her face. What were your thoughts on that?
The fame has
think
gone
that
to
Melissa-
Joe's head.
Wait, go, St. J.
I think that Melissa doesn't have to be like a submissive, stay-at-home mom and like housewife anymore. And I don't think Joe is conditioned to deal with that from his wife. Like, seeing his sister like that is completely different, but I think that Joe just has a different expectation for his wife.
Okay, all right. And when
like he can't,
go ahead.
He can't just say no, we're not getting this, and it's like Melissa is using his money now. It's like no, but if Melissa wants to do it, she can still do it.
Good point. Good point. Well, where were your other thoughts on the Part 1 of the reunion? Are you looking forward to Part 2?
Yeah. So here are my thoughts, and I think that you said this on Up and Adam. I'm Dolores. Where was she? Like, it just not much for Dolores this part. I'm like, dang, and I like Dolores, but I'm like, girl, you might have just threw yourself on the chopping block because you brought nothing.
Luckily, we hear that all of them are coming back, but maybe she'll come back as a friend of. She's lucky that she has Frank though, because of the relationship Frank has with the other men. I think that has solidified her position.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Dolores gets lucky on a lot of ends as far as her relationship with the cast dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as Dolores as a cast member standing on her own, not much for Dolores.
Yeah. Oh, it's sad.
Yeah, look for part 2 though.
Saint J, thank you so much for calling in as always.
Bye.
Oh, there we go. Janice, final thoughts.
So maybe people didn't watch the episode, but a couple of episodes ago, Joe Gorga, when he did his confessional, he was talking about, yeah, I always used to go with her and was on all the red carpets and I got to be in all the photos. And now he doesn't get to do that. For whatever reason has happened there. Well, pandemic, obviously, number one. So she's probably doing a lot online and doing a lot of stuff like this, Zoom calls and everything, which he's not going to be a part of. So he's feeling left out of the public eye, I'm going to guess, when it comes to that kind of stuff. And maybe there might have been a little something there brewing between the two of them, and it just kind of exploded a little bit. So they'll have to figure that out on their own if that's something that they can overcome.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Along the lines of part 2, am I waiting for the Margaret, Jennifer knockdown, drag out pay-per-view event? Yes. I want it to happen, but so this is kind of where it's weird that it's only going to be 2 parts, because we're going to get like a shortened version of whatever happened in the studio live. Yes. We're not going to get the whole thing like we normally would if it were 3. Now, do I like the idea of 2 parts? Yes. Do I like the idea of 3? No. Let's all stop doing 3 because it gets to be boring, i.e. Salt Lake, right? That was not a good reunion. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Teresa is going to start processing all of this information from the reunion, and how is she going to move forward in her life. And as I've already said to you, I don't need to see Louis again on my TV screen. There was a big debate when I put that comment up, and I had a lot of people that liked it. So, and I don't know if you remember what I said, but I let you know that I thought that Louis looked like Jack Nicholson as the Joker in the Batman movie. That was me. All right.
Oh. And
there were so many people that liked that. And I'm like, because it did look, whatever work he's had done to his face, I have no clue. I feel like I'm in a position of honor because normally you leave Miriam to the end. So
Miriam's not here. Where's Miriam?
She's probably doing something,
Busy working.
She is. Well, I was working while I was on the call, so that's okay. Ooh. Well, I can multitask.
Yes, I love it, Dan. And I'm glad you called in.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Congratulations on 10K. I'm so happy. Okay, let's go for the 100.
Yes. Thank you so much, Janice. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye. So guys, first of all, we have almost 200 people in the room. Like this video if you haven't. Shout out to my moderators. Shout out to everyone that called in. Shout out to everyone that sent a super chat. Appreciate you supporting the channel. It goes a long way. I have to go finish recording tomorrow's podcast. If you're not subscribed to my podcast, it's called Kempire Radio. It's on all of your favorite podcast platforms, especially Google and Apple and Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora. It's there. Subscribe. That's where I can get a little bit more shady as opposed to what community guidelines say for TikTok and for here on YouTube. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Here are my last minute thoughts on New Jersey's part 1 reunion. I am looking forward to part 2. I have shifted my opinions on some of these housewives. I'm looking forward to all of them coming back next season, but I am also looking forward to them adding at least 2 new women that are completely separated from these ladies and can really bring something to mix it up. We need to mix it up. Hopefully that these ladies will have better storylines next season. Marge, it was your own fault. It was your own fault. I'm looking to see what happens. What receipts does Jennifer have on Margaret? How can she prove this? If this is true, I haven't really been following Marge and Jackie's relationship on social. Oh, no, wait a second. Well, no, they both commented on Melissa's shadiness towards Jennifer. So I think at least by the end of this reunion, Jackie and Marge are still in a good place, which says to me Jennifer doesn't have any receipts on Marge actually spreading this rumor. But it will be interesting to see. I will be following. I love the fact that we decided to do this. It was the very first time that we did a mashup of Beverly Hills and New Jersey. We'll do it again next week live. So be ready to call in, share your thoughts, be in the chat room. I appreciate I was seeing everyone's comments. You guys are amazing and hilarious at the same time. If you have not subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for being a part of the Kempire and being a part of this family. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening. I will be back next week, of course, to talk about these Housewives, but also another video is coming. More news is coming out. As always, you know, here on the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, you're getting daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you very soon.